Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Cilinix Crypto. Hope you're all doing great. Hope you all had a great weekend. Hope you're having a great Monday so far. And welcome to this new video on Solana. All right, so we're going to do a full update right here on the technicals, the fundamentals, hopefully everything you need to know. We'll discuss all the different scenarios right here. We'll zoom in, we'll zoom out. So basically everything you need to know. All right. Now I have to say, I mean, I use this value area right here, but it's a little bit strange. Or at least in my eyes, it's not working correctly, but I might be wrong. Could I just do something like this? I think this is better. Yep, this is better. But yeah, so that's what we'll do. First of all, last video 2 days ago, we talked about the fundamentals briefly, and what we saw is that the fundamentals right now for the Solana network are quite good. That's still the case. All right. If we check out the data from last week Friday, for example, I think that's the last data we have. You can see the DEX trading volumes are still in a bit of an uptrend and are still quite high, all right? And these levels of 3.3, well, basically an average of over $2 billion a day in DEX trading volumes. I have to say, like, those numbers were lower last year sometimes when we were at these same price areas, right? So what that means is that I think Solana, I wouldn't call it undervalued if you take a look at the market cap, which is obviously incredibly high. But comparatively, Solana this year and Solana last year at the same prices, right now the fundamentals are better, right? So that makes me slightly bullish on Solana. The market as a whole is also still strong at this point of time. Now, obviously, that's tricky. I mean, Bitcoin is, especially if you zoom out, it's near some major resistance levels. So you have to ask yourself the question, how long can this actually sustain? And that's a difficult question to answer, of course. And then you also see that altcoin indices, such as others and the total 3, are near resistance. So I think the upside for Solana is capped. But I have to say, given the technicals right now, given the fundamentals, I have to say that bullish continuation is most likely. But I can make it very, very easy for you, all right? Because would I buy Solana right now? No. What you can see is that technically we are within a major range, right? If you go to the 3-day time frame, we're in this range between, I'm going to make it very broad, these are not the absolute edges, but let's say 171 to the upside and then 127 to the downside. That's where the value area was last year, so maybe that's slightly different this year, who knows. But we're within that, and you can see on the higher time frames, Solana is holding the most important level in the middle, which is the POC. That's where most of the liquidity is at 144, right? So on the higher time frames, after bouncing from the bottom of the range, breaking them off the most important level within the range, obviously the most likely scenario is then still to get up to the top of the range. But on the lower time frames, you can see that we're holding that, but that we have formed some sort of value right here between 153 and 147. And the most simple way to look at this is to say we're looking for a breakout. All right, so that would either be a breakout to the upsides. For that, I think we need to break 153. You can see we broke above that slightly before, but that was just a bit of a fake out. It looks like fake out price action. You can see a bit of a hammer candle, for example, and the volume during that move was also slightly lower compared to the price or compared to the volume around that. So 153. We only need to break above that. If we do that with volume and Bitcoin stays relatively stable, I think that's the cue for getting a move into 164, 171. Now, be prepared, be aware of the potential of a fake out. Like I said, we do need to have volume, and we do need to have a relatively resilient market to actually make that a real breakout. But it's waiting for that, or a breakout below 144, 145, right? But at this point of time, it looks most likely, given the way the market is looking, in combination with the fundamentals for Solana, that we're going to get that bullish breakout. Both breakouts are a possibility, just so you know, and you should be prepared for both. But if you want my prediction, I'd say this is most likely, right? So those are my thoughts. I think that's what you need to know for today. If you do have any questions, let me know down in the comments. But for now, thank you for watching. Take care and bye.